Why not? What could it hurt at that point?
I think it would have. You don't want to see an alcoholic be given alcohol. I guess I don't know.
Even if they're dying with their leg cut off, having been bitten by a zombie?
Then they'd have to take away his chip. Just kidding. Right before he dies.
Okay, Aubrey Churchward. I'm already crying at the thought of Carol possibly no longer being with us. Somebody hold me. Oh, I'm sorry for what I just said, Aubrey. I'll hold you.
This show's tough. Go to Sonoya and Cindy will hold you.
Yes. And Melissa McBride lives in Noonan. You might actually run into her.
Is that near Sonoy?
We have her address.
Creepy.
Okay. That's good. Time to talk about Fracture.
Yeah.
Yay. So with Fracture, you get your favorite photos or any photo, could be your least favorite, printed in vivid color directly on glass. It looks beautiful. If you go to fractureme.com and enter promo code GAC, you get a 15% discount. If you're like me, you have a bunch of great photos locked away on your phone or your computer that no one ever sees. And what I really like about Fracture is it's not only easier than having your photos printed by a service and getting a frame and putting it all together and hanging it up, but it actually looks better, I think. It's really cool looking.
Somebody had one at the con. Did you see it?
Oh, no, I didn't notice.
Somebody had one and they gave it to either Andy or Norman as a gift.
No way.
And yeah, it looked really cool.
Oh,
What was it of? Did you see it?
I did.
What was
I
it
think
of?
it was it was of whoever. I'm trying to
Right.
remember. That whole
Of
weekend was a
them,
blur. But I think it was a picture of Andy, and it was one of those Fracture pictures, and they gave it to him.
I totally think that there should be some kind of marriage of Fracture and Walker Stalker Con so people who want to can get their pictures with the stars
photo ops,
done
yeah.
like that, you know?
Oh
We
my
try to
God, that's
set
a
that up.
great
Yeah.
idea. Yeah, it's a great idea.
So I've loved the pictures that I've had fracturized so far. I have a couple of Nico up on my wall that I mentioned. One thing I like about that is just having those pictures up. Nico sees them and he's 3 years old, so he feels kind of special, I think, seeing those up there. And these days we don't get our pictures up as much as we used to since they're, we just show them around on Facebook and stuff like that. So it's nice to put them up. Some of our listeners have been sending in some examples. My friend Jessica Rhodes has her wedding picture and then one a little later with her husband and her cute little son, Nathan. So that was cool.
Cute.
Shelly Cerrone said she just used it and she's really pleased. And Laura Nussbaum did one a while back of her mom and her newborn daughter. So I'm glad to see that you guys are getting into it.
And by the way, holidays are coming. So start thinking about they make a great personalized present, people.
Yeah, they're really cool because they're personal. And so even if, you could buy someone something and they say, I already have one of those, but no one has this picture that you're going to give them.
Nope.
And not only is it easier and better looking than other framing options, it's also way less expensive than a lot of them. And if you go to fractureme.com and enter GAC, G-A-K, you get a 15% discount even on that price on your order. So try it out. And thanks again to Fracture for their support.
Thanks, Fracture.
Obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is a Walking Deadcast news update.
Just a couple of news items this week. I don't know if you guys heard, but AMC purchased a 49.9% stake in BBC America.
No.
Weird, huh?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, because BBC America puts out the BBC shows that we love, like Doctor Who.
Yep.
Definitely good shows.
Broadchurch?
Oh, I've never seen that with David
neither.
Tennant.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Oh, I hear so many great things about that.
Yeah, we should check it out. Anyways, they'll take full control of BBC America in the U.S., including advertising and sales. I guess they think they will develop shows together, and I don't know exactly what the partnership means, but I just thought it was interesting.
That is very cool.
Next, a director has been chosen for the pilot of the Walking Dead spinoff, which is apparently going into production this year. There's not much of this year left, but it's Adam Davidson, who won an Oscar for Best Live Action Short Film for a short film called The Lunch Date in 1991. And since then, he's directed episodes of some of our favorite shows like Dexter, Lost, and True Blood.
Ooh, those are good ones.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So it's the director, not the showrunner?
Yeah, so the showrunner is, I forgot his name, but it's a guy who worked on Sons of Anarchy. I forgot his name. But, each episode has its own director. So now we know the director of the pilot.
Very good.
And I don't know, I'm pretty sure they've only ordered a pilot for that show. And then the pilot will get made. And then based on that, they'll decide whether they want to actually make it a show.
My guess is yes.
Yeah, I'm really interested and curious, but also slightly skeptical.
Yeah, me too.
But interested and curious.
Yeah, because did you hear what little information they have now revealed some details about it?
Let's hear it.
We reported on it a while back. I can't remember exactly, but that it would they had some teenagers and family. It looked like 2 families.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And just seemed like, that's just more people. Like, I want some kind of different situation, than what we've already seen.
Right.
And, then other people were saying, well, maybe it'll be a prequel and they'll go way back to the beginnings of the zombie apocalypse, which I think is cool. But as we've learned from, I think Andrew Lincoln said, Rick was only in a coma for a couple of weeks. So there's only a couple of weeks that we haven't seen.
Right.
Okay, and then this last one is slightly spoilery. It's speculation, but if you don't like spoilers, then you should skip this part. It's actually not even news, it's just speculation. But as we know, Sonequa Martin Green is pregnant. So I was wondering if you guys think that maybe she's pregnant with Bob's baby?
I didn't even think about that because her character's not in the comics, so...
Yeah, and neither is Bob.
Right. Well, there was an alcoholic. Well, those were in the books, weren't they?
Yeah, Bob was in the book.
The Governor books. Yeah.
But anyway,
she's not that pregnant. When we saw her just 2 weeks ago, right? Or a week ago?
Yeah.
A week ago? I don't even know.
I think she's due in
She's due in March, isn't she? Or
something
January?
like that. Yeah.
She's one of our cons she's going to miss because.
But you think they could
she's due.
film around that? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
so too.
Yeah, we don't need another baby, or one of the babies are going to have to die.
Man, that's harsh. All right.
Just saying. Babies are not helpful in a zombie apocalypse.
That's true. You
They're
can't
not.
start a nursery or something.
But they give you
What are
hope.
they feeding? What are they feeding Judith?
Water.
Formula.
They need a wet nurse.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wet nurse.
Okay, that's it for the news. Let's move on to listener moans, groans, and grunts. Okay, now it's time for James Gaialunas or whatever. Cindy.
Oh, me?
Yep. You get to read the first one.
I get to say Karen's favorite fuckity fuck. No, not Gareth, fuck.
Well done.
I know that's a prayer usually saved for our heroes, but after hearing your interview with Andrew J. West and seeing how awesomely creepy he played the character, I was really looking forward to more of him. And then, machete to the face. I was on edge through this whole episode. I made a point of not leaving my tongue between my teeth just in case I got scared and jumped. I do that all the time. I didn't want to bite my tongue through my tongue. Don't get bit or hacked to pieces by Rick. I agree with everything that James said.
Me too.
Words to live by. Eric Sherman writes, regarding the situation with Daryl and his mystery partner, I'll take a few guesses as to who it is with him. I'm very excited to see who it is. 1, it's the one-eyed dog from the funeral home. 2, it's Morgan. I don't think this will be the case because Daryl has never met Morgan, right? And I'm guessing Morgan is still probably a little loopy from being left to his own devices in this wacky world yet again. So I don't think it's him, but it might be. 3, it's Beth. They find her in that car. Carol dies in the shootout, and the rest of the episode is a Beth retrospective. 4, it's Ezekiel and the one-eyed dog, who is named Shiva because the TV show would never introduce the Shiva of the comic. I hope. Or do I? I don't know what that refers to.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that, but I don't want to give spoilers. Yeah. Shiva.
When I think-
let's not talk about it.
Shiva is a Hindu god, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Oh,
Is
Karen.
some dude named Ezekiel is there with a Hindu god.
Oh, Karen.
But 5, it's Lily Chandler. She didn't die at the prison. She somehow escaped the mob of walkers her sister saw converging on her, and she has been following them with another small group of survivors since back then, and has been just behind Rick and company the whole time.
That's a good point that Daryl's never met Morgan. It still could be Morgan though, but
Sure.
I feel like it is Carol with Beth's body. That's what I feel like. But then she wouldn't be carrying the body. I don't know. We'll see.
It's Morgan who basically has Daryl at gunpoint, which is why Daryl's acting funny because they don't know each other. But when Morgan steps out, he and Michonne recognize each other, and then it's all okay.
Maybe it's Shumpert.
Maybe it is Shumpert because he's not dead.
That's right. We never saw him die.
We all know Martinez lied.
That's right. He's a liar. This is from Drea Age. She says, I was fascinated by the scene in the church where the group bludgeons the termites to death. The show did such a good job of separating those who not only took part in the kills, but overall seemed to delight in the kills. Rick, Abe, and Sasha, versus the other members of the group who were more like bystanders that were clearly disturbed. Glenn, Maggie, Tyrese. Strangely enough, I found myself disturbed when I leaned towards Rick and the aggressors and delighted in the merciless slaying of the termites. I found that the group was justified, but once things died down, I also find myself deeply disturbed. Excellent writing, and so excited to see what's coming next. That's you were disturbed at how much you delighted in the scene, and then you were just disturbed at yourself for being so delighted. Or that's what I just said. And then you were also disturbed at the scene. So you were just disturbed. But I know what you mean, yeah, because I was totally like, get him, get him, get him. And then it's like, I just cheered on a guy hacking up another guy.
Yep.
In front of his child and baby.
But I think Carl and Gabriel and the baby were still in the other room.
Okay.
I think. We didn't see them watching.
Yeah.
He could just hear it.
You know, his face just looked like meatloaf afterwards.
Yeah, totally.
It happens, man.
They've seen worse. Okay, your turn, Cindy.
I'm going to butcher this name. Jezreel Supertran?
Sounds right.
Subtran?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jezreel, if that is really wrong. I was wondering if you two noticed Bob's AA badge on his right chest area. I thought it was a great Easter egg, especially when he finally revealed to Jared, I think he means Gareth, maybe, he was infected. I wonder if the writers meant to reference Alcoholics Anonymous.
He sent a screenshot and it was an AA, and so I don't know. I think so, but I don't know for sure.
That's very cool. Gayla Bear writes, regarding the symbols we keep seeing cut into trees, I looked up hobo symbols, and the circle with an X means safe here, good chance for food. Wow, that's scary since it was right near the terminus sign. The line on the
Good chance you'll be food.
Yeah, the line on the tree when Bob is taken, some say looks like a horizontal line with the line coming down. I rewatched the episode and I'm not convinced that the bark of the tree doesn't make that downward line. However, if it's simply a straight line, it means doubtful. If it's a horizontal line with another line coming down slightly, it means beware. Ooh.
Interesting.
Nice detective work, Gayla.
Yeah. Once we find out who made those, then maybe that'll all make more sense.
I like hobo stamps and hobo symbols. I think that there should be like a whole tattoo thing with hobo
We should
symbols.
learn about them in case there is an apocalypse.
Yeah, or we should make them at Walker Stalker Con.
We should.
You know, put one near certain actors' tables and say, this person is difficult
Yes.
to deal with. I won't say any names, but
Safe here, good chance for food
you know who I'm talking about, Cindy.
in the green room.
Yeah, good chance for food. I like it. Star sightings here. The last one is from Charlie Newell, it's my turn, right? Who says, FUBAR is a military acronym for fucked up beyond all recognition. It also goes with the term snafu, situation normal, all fucked up. What does that mean? That it's all fucked up like normal?
Snafu, yeah, it means that things are all fucked up all the
As
time.
they usually are.
As they usually are. Yeah,
Okay.
remember we talked about
Yeah.
foobar and using foobar in a sentence, and it made me so happy. I think I said foobar meant fucked up beyond all reason.
Reasonableness. Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's the
recognition's
same
better.
thing. It's the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah,
I
think we
just love
fucked up.
Eugene's character so much.
Me too.
I
I'm
love
with
the way he delivers his lines.
I still, yeah, well, you know how I feel about that. But I just, every time I talk to or see Josh McDermott,
Josh.
just like him even more.
Yep.
I want to try to get him to do his comedy routine at one of these cons.
I want that too.
Okay, there's
What did he say when we proposed that? I forget.
he said that he seemed kind of like he thought it would be too dark or something, and I'm like, dude, did you
What
see?
show are you on?
Yeah.
See in the audience here?
And then I watched a little bit of it, and it gets a little blue, a little like
Oh, do you watch some of his
comedy.
comedy? Where
On
did you find it on like
YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah.
I gotta go look it up.
Yeah, but it was funny, and I think it would go over really well, actually. So we should work on that.
Yeah, let's work on it.
Okay, a few calls. This is Aubrey and Laura.
Hi, Jason and Karen. This is Aubrey Churchward and Laura Husey. We've both written in a few times, so we thought we'd call. Last time I wrote in, I had shared one of my dreams was a zombie dream, and recently I had another zombie dream where I was chopped up from a chainsaw, and I woke up with just my head, like that one zombie lady in the woods. Her husband was in the woods, and it was just a head. I was that head, and it was really creepy. So
yeah, we just wanted to call out and say thanks for what you guys do, and we love the show.
And our only request is we want more Nico.
Yeah, we want Nico more.
Yeah.
We need a new zombie sound from him.
Yes.
Anyways, thanks for taking our call.
Don't get bit, Jason and Karen and Nico.
I want more Nico too.
Okay, I'll work on it. I haven't had a chance to do that yet, but yeah, hey, I bet his zombie sound will sound different now. He's grown a lot. I love that they're all, and I was a little zombie. I was a head.
That's a great call.
Yeah, thanks, you guys. I'll work on that. Okay, next is Jen from San Diego.
Hey, Karen and Jason. This is Jen Amos from San Diego. I just wanted to make a comment. I finally had the guts to watch Walking Dead by myself. So usually I watch it with my boyfriend and stuff like that because I can't watch it by myself. But now I have the guts. So anyway, I'm actually watching the reruns. And I noticed that in the first season, the zombies were able to run, they were able to climb, and I remember when they were at the building in Atlanta, there was a zombie that was, or a walker that was actually holding a rock and banging the window with it. And now, in the latest episodes, I noticed that they're really slow and they pretty much just drag their feet to walk. So I wonder if that was intentional to the show, or if that was like a showrunner style to directing the shows. I wanted to get your thoughts on that. And I just have to say, like, Carol, wow, so amazed to see her grow through from the first season until now. I mean, in the first couple of episodes, she was so, submissive and scared, and now she's just, she's just the queen. She's amazing. Anyway, it's marvelous. Anyway, thanks so much. I just wanted to make a comment on that. So thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Like it. I think that early on they just probably weren't as clear about what would work dramatically. And as I've had more and more practice staging these scenes, they probably realized that if the zombies are too fast, a lot of it would not be as possible. You know?
And also maybe time has gone by and maybe a lot of these zombies have been around for a while and they're not doing too well. So maybe whereas before they could move a little bit faster, maybe now they're slowing down.
That's an in-story explanation, and I like it, except then that means that we have to accept that the zombies are less effective and therefore less of a threat now, and I don't like that, but you could be right. Because they're less effective. They don't run as fast. They don't carry stuff like they did early on.
And it's so easy to kill them. I mean, honestly, you have to crawl into a pit in the basement, a flooded basement, and really make some bonehead moves to get bit these days.
But they're strong enough to rip through Dale's guts, you know? And I mean, that was a while ago, but I still think that they, given, like, if they get their hands on you, they can rip your flesh apart, I think.
Sure.
So they're that strong. You'd think they
Right.
could grab a rock.
Zombies are still pretty stupid, though.
Yeah, they're getting stupider.
They grabbed a rock in the beginning.
That's what we're saying. Yeah, yeah. All right. This next one is Jared from Oklahoma.
Hi, Jason and Karen. This is Jared from Oklahoma. And, well, I thought I'd call in because I'm actually a new listener just as of a couple weeks. I'm actually on episode, 50, I guess my third of the way listening to all your podcasts.
Wow.
I hope you guys still like haikus. I wrote one. Goes, Jason and Karen. Wonder if they will get bit. Must keep listening. And I guess the zombie growl.
It sounds like he was yawning and stretching.
That was a good one. I liked it. Creeped me out.
Thanks, baby. Thanks for calling.
That, for some reason, that just reminded me, we have our first big death of the season. It's Bob. We had our contest, who dies first. I know a bunch of you guys picked Bob. I haven't gone through and seen how many people picked Bob and whether we have enough prizes or I'm going to have to draw names out. So we'll do that next time. And I also said that we were going to look at the opening credits and analyze those. Didn't get a chance to do that. We'll do it next time. One more call. We have Timothy from Louisiana.
Hey, Jason, Ken, just watched the tonight's episode of The Walking Dead, and it was pretty good. And I knew they were going to drag Bob's lifespan out. I knew they were going to say that till the end. But Rick taking Gareth out with what he promised, that red handle machete, was awesome. Definitely give it the 10 out of 9 just for that. My question is, did you think that the sword, I thought that scratch on the tree was Michonne's sword, because if you pause it, you can see that it looks like the handle of a sword. And I think that was Martin that knocked Bob out. And he had the hoodie on. So I wonder if you guys thought it was a sword or if you thought it was something else. Thank you. Bye.
I thought it was at first, but now that we've been hearing about these different hobo markings and things, I think it's some kind of communication.
Yeah.
And there was that little curved, it was a straight line and then a curve down.
Right.
So.
Right. Which may or may not be part of the tree.
Yeah. It didn't look like it to me, but anyway. All right. Thanks for writing in and calling it, everybody. As always, we appreciate it. Let's move on to Comic Talk with Mr. Blog and Gracie Lou. Take it away, guys.
Hey, everyone. I'm Mr. Blog.
And I'm Grace.
And welcome to another edition of Comic Talk.
Yeah, this time we'll be discussing episode 503, Four Walls and a Roof. And I must say this episode was full of so much comic goodness.
Yeah, I think the last two episodes, this one and the one previous, it's pretty much straight out of the book. And it was so much fun seeing these things come to life. And of course, all the little tweaks that they make. But
much of the same feel and the same tone.
Oh, and again, some of the same words going on. Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and start off with the first thing we have here?
Okay, the first one is similar to last time, but Gareth/Chris's monologue was very, very, very similar.
Oh, yeah.
He was talking about how some of them preferred the taste of women, that they taste better because of the extra layer of fat for childbearing. And he also did the line about how a starving bear will eat its own cub to survive. But in the comic, this line was delivered to Rick kind of later when they met up.
I mean, and this was directly, right after Bob, with the whole, realizing his leg is cut off and that exact same speech. And then, of course, it leads directly into, and in the book, it was Dale, of course, but Bob beginning to just laugh his ass off and them getting pissed off. And, you know, they changed it up a little bit. They cleaned up the language, but basically it was the same thing. You idiots, I've been bitten, you stupid pricks. I'm tainted meat. You eating tainted meat. That was just wonderful. I was so happy
and
they got that in there.
we have been waiting to hear that line.
We really had. And I thought, you know, I got to say, I thought Lawrence Gilliard Jr. delivered that amazingly well. I mean, I always,
rocked it.
because I always imagine Dale, you know, when you see him in the comic, he is just cracking up. He's just giddy with excitement over these fuckers eating his tainted meat. It's just fantastic. So, and then right after that,
Yeah, we have the hunters. The reaction was the same. They were spitting out the meat and they were vomiting even, and all this concern. Is it Albert?
Albert, yep, our buddy Albert. I was so happy to finally see him. I'm like, hey, there he is.
Yeah, we did. We finally saw him. They've been talking about him. But, you know, the concern as to whether they turn or not, if it was going to speed up the infection. And then Gareth/Chris saying, well, you know, it was cooked. You know, we'll be fine.
Well, I was a little bummed out that they didn't have the line in the show from the book about, I want to cut out my tongue. And Chris, or would have been Gareth, saying, no, you idiot. What are you going to do? Cut out your entire stomach? You can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. That was one of my favorite things in the comic I always loved, was that moron saying he was going to cut out his tongue. And then, of course, immediately after that, Chris/Gareth getting really pissed off with Bob/Dale. We're going to keep doing this, I guess. And just giving him that kick to the face. And it was identical to the book. And then, now the episode didn't get into the reasoning and the decision making that the book did as far as the hunters discussing dumping him off in front of the church and trying to elicit that fear. But
right.
That was pretty clear. And that was, again, lifted directly out of it, which I thought was great. And so at that point, what else do we have that's pretty much exact? Couple of things here.
Oh, I mean, what's so exact and what I thought another great delivery was Gabriel's confession to Rick and the group about what he had done, you know, after he was being accused of being a part of the reason that the people had gone missing. In the comic, it was Andrea that started the accusations. And in the show, it was Sasha. And then Rick really kind of stepping up and getting the confession out of Gabriel, which was pretty much, you know, exactly the same. He locked the church doors, the congregation, and was trying to get in, and he did not let them in.
Now, I think the book makes a little bit more of a point that it had probably more to do with the food situation as opposed to the fear, although I think that was there as well. And as you and I were just talking before we started recording, we were both so excited to finally see Gabriel pop up on the show, yet you and I both hate this guy, man. He is the most annoying, whiny little, he drives me crazy. And that comes in.
He's one of my
my
least favorite characters in the whole comic, I think. Yeah, but I was excited to see him.
I know it's hilarious how that's the case, right? It's like, well, yay, the book's come to life, and oh yay, it came to life with the asshole we really don't like.
And he's just as annoying in the TV show.
Yeah, of course. Now, and then of course the scenes with Sasha and Bob really mirror those scenes between Andrea and Dale. Very similar in tone. Why didn't you tell me? And you know, the biggest difference there was that when it was time to put down Bob finally, Andrea didn't have anybody step in to do it for her. She just took care of it herself. So that was another thing that's very similar and pretty much the same. And then
touching.
And then we get to the actual scene with the hunters. Tweaked a bit for the show, but
tweaked a bit. In the comic, it was done, you know, at where the survivors went out and found the hunters and kind of surprised them. And it was kind of the opposite way in the TV show. Oh, but just as brutal.
You think so? I got to say, this was in the book. This is by far one of my favorite scenes. And I felt like the way Rick comes out with everybody hidden in the woods. Now, in the show, everybody's still hidden in the darkness. They don't know who it is.
Right.
And even when, now, you know, Andrea shoots off one dude's ear, first of all. And then Abraham steps out to collect their weapons. And again, Abraham was the first one to step out and get his gun up on Martin in the show. I kind of miss the fact of Gareth. I wish he would have said something along, well, maybe there's just one of you out there, but I guess he knew, so that wouldn't have made sense. And that's when Andrea shoots off his finger in the show. Who shot his finger off here? Was it Sasha?
I just had assumed it was Rick, but I think I'm wrong on that, so I didn't really pay attention to who
I think
it was.
it may have been Sasha. Now I'm beginning to think, I had mentioned before, maybe, Carol's being groomed to be the new Andrea, but maybe Sasha's being groomed to be the new Andrea.
Maybe.
But having his finger blown off was perfect.
Begging for his life.
Begging for his life, exactly. And again, a lot of the dialogue in this one, as opposed to the previous, Gareth speechifying to Bob, a lot of the dialogue in this exchange was different, but still had the exact same effect.
Oh, all the same savagery.
Well, I kind of miss that. I wish Rick would have said in the show, maybe we're going to have us a little bite, and then later on explain, no, we're not really going to eat you. And discussing the savagery, almost all of what happens to the hunters in the book, it's it's Michonne, Abraham, Andrea, Rick. Who else is there? I know Gabriel is there with him.
Not participating, but
no, of course not participating. But I forget who all's there. But they essentially rip them all to shreds with their bare hands. I mean, they chop them up into little bits and make each person watch the previous person.
Yeah.
So I think,
but it's not shown. It's off panel.
It's not shown exactly, and I think in the book it comes across as way more brutal than what they did in the show. Yet in the show,
you see it.
That was horrific, man. Especially with the machete and the fact that Rick kept his promise. I thought was pretty damn cool.
Oh yeah, I like
but
that.
We're not commenting on that. And of course, right afterwards, Gabriel in the show is saying, "Oh, this is the house of God. How could you do that here?" But in the book, he's sitting there crying, same thing, and he's just like, "I'm sorry, there has to be another answer. This is unacceptable. I just can't think of any way to justify this." And then Rick lets him have it of basically like, "You coward, you let people die in front of your church, blah, 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 blah." He did his whole thing. So they even got that in there, which I thought was fantastic. Just so cool. Just that scene was horrific and just the way I wanted it to be for the most part. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was great. And then one of the last things I think is the confrontation between Rick and Abraham. And although the butting of heads kind of happens much earlier in the comic when they first meet.
Yeah.
This is kind of the same thing. Abe's trying to convince Rick of the importance of the mission and how staying in one place is death, and he wants to move on, and Rick does not at the point. So,
it seems like with last
beats.
week, and last week where you had Rick telling Carl that he's not safe, and that came from a much earlier part. It sort of seems like Gimple maybe he's saying like, "Look, there's so much great stuff in the comic. Let's make sure we cover these major beats." And one of those, as we said, is that confrontation between Rick and Abraham. And it was set up so differently in the show than it was originally in the comic that this was a great place to put that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fantastic.
After last week, I thought they were going to kind of skip over that, but they didn't.
So did I.
thought it worked well. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely agreed. And I think that pretty much covers everything that we could compare between the show and the comic. What do you say?
I think so.
Fantastic. So on that note, thank you guys for listening, and we will probably not be back next week. Judging on the previews for next week, I think we may be
but
skipping.
We'll be back soon. Yep.
But we will be back soon, and we'll see you then. And for now, back to Jason and Karen.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mr. Blog and Gracie Lou. And I just want to remind all you guys that Mr. Blog and Gracie Lou have under the comic covers. If you go to utccovers.com, they talk about indie comics, one of which is The Walking Dead. There was an issue out recently, and they cover it brilliantly. So check that out. Now it's time for Next Week on The Walking Dead.
So the next week's episode is called Slab Town, which I'm not too sure what that means.
Sounds like a mortuary to me.
It does.
Right?
Yeah. And as we know, it's probably going to be Beth-centric. Mm-hmm. And in rewatching the clip, I noticed a few things. She wakes up and she's wearing hospital clothes, but the inside of that room looked really clean in comparison to the destroyed city out the window. And she had an IV in her arm, and she had a bandage on, and the clock was ticking. And then the police officer and the doctor came in, and the police officer seemed clean, and her clothes
like
pressed.
They're part of society almost.
Yeah, the doctor, I did notice that his lip around his neckline, his coat and shirt looked a little bit dirty and disheveled, but by and large, he looked relatively clean, and the police officer definitely did.
Mm-hmm. And she was mean, too.
Yeah, she was mean. And as we know from the season 5 trailer that came out of San Diego Comic-Con. She's really mean. But I don't know what any of that means. I don't know where Beth is. I don't know if it's like they're running tests on her or experiments. I just thought it was really interesting. But I did note that in addition to the woman who plays the officer, I think we're going to be introduced to a couple of other characters. I don't know if they'll only be in that episode or not, but one of them is Tyler James Williams, who will play Noah, and he is from Everybody Hates Chris. And so he's kind of well known by some people, and so I don't know if he'd just be in one episode or not, or if he'll be another new character.
I get the sense it's another group where they might seem to be one thing on the surface, but like you said, his neckline was disheveled, so maybe they're trying to put up appearances, but who knows?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what... That's clearly something that's not in the comics. So as a comic reader, when I look for things that are, while they may end up being slightly different, there's certain storylines that you can see coming that you're like, oh, I hope this is where they're going with that.
You have
and then
an
they
idea
do
where
or
it
they
might go.
don't, yeah. So there's certain things that have played out that have been key comic book stories that we've felt fulfilled about.
Right.
But this with Beth A is not in the character or in the comic to begin with. And then this whole like hospital thing with the police officer and the doctor, like that's something completely foreign to me. So I'm really interested and curious to see what it is.
Yeah, it's great that they switch it up like that. So we get to be fulfilled, like you said, but now it's like, oh, we have no clue. Are you guys excited to see an episode that looks like it's going to be mostly Beth-centric, maybe with some Daryl in there?
Yeah, I'm good with it. I mean, we've had 3 really good episodes with all of the rest of the characters, so I'm fine with having one that might be Beth-centric.
Agreed.
Yeah, and this one looks like it's going to be really interesting, too. Like, dude, she's kidnapped. She's in a hospital. What the hell? Okay, cool. You guys ready to close it out?
Yep.
All right, that's our show, episode 158. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for coming on, Cindy. Was it fun?
Thank you. Yes, it was so fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was good to have you on.
Yay.
If you, not you, Cindy, but everyone else wants to call us, you can call us I'll give you my personal number later. But if you guys want to call, you can call at 650-485-DEAD. That's 650-485-3323, or click the send voicemail button on our website.
You can call, sorry.
You can call me at...
You can write us at brains@walkingdeadcast.com.
You can check out our website with lots of Walking Dead news and info at walkingdeadcast.com. And don't forget to click through our Amazon link on there whenever you shop at Amazon.
We're also on Twitter at Jason and Karen, on Tumblr at walkingdeadcast.tumblr.com,